So today, what you're going to be able to do is going to look at how to be in that space. So whilst you discovered it yesterday and you use the Monday afternoon class to really build it and really construct that space and explore what are the possibilities, what you can do, and what are the things that the space doesn't allow you to do. Today is where you're going to actually now, text in hand with your monologue in hand, go through action by action. So you've got your units of action. Go unit by action, and test out for each unit of action. Test out right now what are the things that the space will allow me to do, and what are the things that the space will not allow me to do. Me being the character, and you as the actor, you're able to see that because you are able to see the target through your character's eyes, and as a result you're able to be in that space through your character's eyes again. So I want you to go unit of action by unit and not go the whole monologue. Take your time. The other thing I want you to do is to really try to explore different options. There might be one thing that stands out, but then go back to the same unit and try a different thing. Aim to have at least 3 options in terms of possibility of movement and how your character reacts to the restrictions of movement that he or she cannot do because of the space as well. I want you to have 3 options minimum for each unit. Then once you've already got your unit by unit and you've started to now construct what will basically form your blocking, then only can you go back and try to do it from the whole monologue from start to end. And it's only in that situation that you'll be able to then put it together. And the objective for today's lesson is by the end of the lesson you're going to be able to finalize your blocking. And just to help you with that, I am going to share again an extract from Declan Donnellan's book, just to make that coherent connection with your work on the targets, on your character's targets. Don't forget, as we mentioned yesterday, to refer back to not only the targets but the stakes, the given circumstances and what is happening, because this is all knowledge that you now have already developed. So the first thing is I'm going to read a pretty long extract today from Declan Donnellan's book, The Act and the Target, just for your reference. This is the start of chapter 13. It's the first page and a bit of the second page. And then from that, I'm going to emphasize the link between his work and what I guided you through and how you're going to use that to create your space. And as from tomorrow morning onwards, you will then start rehearsing your solo theatre piece, well, your monologue at least. Okay, so I begin to quote. When I am, where I am, and how I should move are indivisible. As we have seen, the space will force you to move in a specific way. For this to happen, you need to have not just an attentive mind, but also an attentive body. Of course, the mind and body are not separate entities. The body needs to be kept in good condition. It needs to be fit and to keep the body flexible. The actor's body is maintained in condition not to feel or look good, but to remain vigilant and sensitive to outside stimulus. The body needs to connect fluidly to the senses so that the target registers immediately. For example, when Romeo jumps out from the shadows and cries, "I take thee at thy word," Irina may have the idea to start back into the shadows. But if Juliet jumps, it cannot be because Irina has made that conscious decision in rehearsal. It must be because Juliet reacts in the living moment. Ultimately, Irina will digest all ideas so that in performance her body can automatically respond to what Juliet sees. Irina's body needs to be so vigilant that it seems her central nervous system immediately and automatically connects her muscles to the target. Ideally, she will respond without actually thinking. Her very muscles must be open to the target. So movement and the target. Without distance, there can be nowhere to go. If I am perfectly where I want to be, I can have no journey. If there is no distance, there is no path and therefore no potential movement. How we move, like everything else we do, is entirely dependent on the target. We do not move in a vacuum. We move only because of something else. We move only in the context of something else. A move or a gesture is as much a reaction to an action as any piece of text. We move to achieve something. We move to change the target. We move first and foremost because we see the target, and more precisely because we see what the target is already doing, as we saw with a forgetful businessman. I shift in my chair may help less than the seam in my trousers make me so uncomfortable that it makes me shift in my chair.